Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and today in Cyberpunk 2077 lore we are going to talk about making money. Now generally I will go through all of the things and activities we know about from the game, but this particular video is about general things from the lore perspective people do, so it can give you a better picture of the society you are going to embark in on December 10th. Since 2077 is a dystopian future where most of the world has been ravaged by storms, corporations, the collapse, wars, etc. And when you have such a drastic wealth difference between the rich and the powerful and people on the streets, you are bound to see the crime activity or, well, illegal ways of getting money go up. So generally, because Night City is a free city and it doesn't fall under the Constitution of the United States, laws are a bit more relaxed in that sense. We can divide the social structure into a few groups. First off is the street level, and on the street level you have all kinds of people, going from the regular folk that just live their life and work in a normal store, for example. So the usual things like the legal activities are still there, people still live their lives, people still do jobs, people still go and educate themselves, but not everyone, of course. If you are from the street level, you don't have enough money to send your kid to a good school or to get a good place to live or to have a normal life. That's the thing, because people live on the edge of poverty. They don't only do legal jobs, they might do, but on the side they might pull off something else. So from the normal people you also have criminals, gangs, punks, and all kinds of things. Then there is the corpo level, or well, the side of the rich, and usually if you are rich in Night City, like filthy rich, you must have some ties to corporations. So that's why I say corporate level, even though not everyone who is rich is a corporate in that sense, but they still have ties to them. Then of course we have the nomad side. They work outside of cities, so of course their way of making money is different. Now before we go on to the street level, keep in mind, almost everyone here has a weapon. It's a normal thing. Crime is rampant in the city, so you have to protect yourself somehow. It doesn't mean they are up to no good, people are just protecting themselves. So besides the legal side, as I said, you have edge runners, people who pull off jobs that are sometimes legal and sometimes illegal, hence the whole name, because they're living on the edge of the law. Now, what an edge runner deals in, it's up to each individual. Some of them deal in more ethical things as much as they can be like stealing cars, eddies, transporting contraband inside the city or outside of the city border, like we had seen like V and Jackie transporting that iguana over the border, or offer protection because certain caravans which go maybe from outside of the city or through the city have to be protected, so sometimes edge runners are hired as muscle basically. There are also edge runners, of course, which specialize in other things like assassinations, blowing stuff up, or running protection, so those less ethical things in a sense. Now besides edge runners you have fixers, and fixers are middlemen. They are the lifeline of the street level. They connect the jobs from wealthy individuals or groups and find the most suitable people for the job. They are one of the most important people in the city, at least on the street level. Of course, they take a cut every time from every job, and that's how fixers themselves can generate huge amounts of money. Now, besides individuals who live on the other side of the law and fixers, you also have criminal organizations that deal in all sorts of things, again, depending on the gang itself. Some gangs like the Mugs, for example, deal in protection and braindance clubs, while let's say Maelstrom do assassinations, they deal boosters, weapons, they do certain attacks, they rob stores and all of that, so whatever they can get their hands on. So even gang activity can be different on how they make money depending on their ethical standpoint in a sense, even though ethical lines in 2077 or generally in the dark future are very blurred. And they usually control certain places within a district or the entire district itself, and they usually just stick to that one district. They have enough ways to make money. They also have legal fronts, like Tiger Claws, for example, they have a bunch of cafes and different restaurants that serve as fronts, so they can generate money from all sides of the city. Of course, you have many other people that are not in organizations but still help on the street level, like Ripper doctors that will fix you up, then weapon and armor traders, clothing traders that can be legal ones, like owning a store. But of course, you do have dealers and various other people that get money from illegal contraband that they get from edge runners or fixers, and then they actually later sell that on the streets. So that's another way. But of course, there is also the law side. Some people decide to become police, some then go into MaxTech, Psycho Squad, and they are on the city payroll. Sometimes the corporate one, but that's kinda the same when it comes to Night City. And besides all of that, you also have bounty hunters, people which specialize in finding criminals or people wanted for various things for money. Most of those people have a bounty on their head in NCPD because NCPD said, look, screw it, we don't have enough manpower, let people handle some things for us and we will give them money. That will of course be a thing in the game, where if you see someone with a bounty, you can take him out or subdue him until NCPD arrives to arrest or take the body to the morgue and give you a reward. Now on the corpo level, things are different. People there work for mega corporations, meaning once you choose that life, you kinda have to go for it until the end. And of course, in that corporation you have regular jobs, desk office jobs, but each one of those employees wants to move forward, and you cannot move forward without breaking a skull or two, or make certain people disappear. Why? Well, money is better. But in corporations you also have people who are hired to do various other things, including security, including being a soldier, maybe you are working in operations, maybe you're working in counterintelligence. Specifically, RV, the Corpo V, was actually working in counterintelligence, so he is kind of an agent or a soldier for corpos, and that's how they make money. So even on the corpo level, you have people making money from their monthly pay, and on top of that, CEOs usually generate insane amounts that they get from their assets, something like our world today, but just the craziness level goes up even more, even though our world is kinda crazy. Of course, you do have famous people, singers, groups, braindance stars, influencers, whatever. They can still make money off of that, but you know, it's just the regular thing that people do today. But usually, unlike the street level, crimes are committed here to generate more money, while people on the streets who commit crimes do it to survive and eat. That's the issue between corpos and the wealthy and the poor and the street level. Street level doesn't have an alternative, while rich and powerful do, but they still go for that because that will generate more money for them. Of course, on the nomad side, nomads live a different life, meaning they move from one place to another and they usually travel in groups, so they might find, let's say, a construction site that needs people. So they camp there for a while until that's done. I mean, not all nomads do criminal activities, keep that in mind. Most of them just want a normal life outside of the city, and if they can find a job or two to help someone out, that's great. But nomads are masters in transportation. That's probably one of the main ways they make money, by arranging caravans through the Badlands, protecting cargo from various entities, but some will also take other jobs like assassinations, etc. Those are usually taken by the raids though, because they're from Ref and Shiv, and raids don't really care where they get their money from. We also have an interesting way of making money like Blood Nation does. They are like a traveling circus that goes around and creates shows for people. So generally, even though it's a dystopian future, it doesn't mean everyone is bad. It's just the environment itself is more loose because there is lack of government presence, especially police. And even districts in Night City are different. Let's say that in the Corpo Plaza there is less crime and more people do legal jobs to survive. While in Pacifica, where there is almost zero police presence, people will be inclined to make money from all sides. It doesn't matter where it comes from. So what will you do as V? Well, pretty much everything. You take a role of that edge runner, so working legal jobs for you doesn't really pay out. Now, of course, we don't know all of the ways of making money as of yet, but what we know is that money will come through missions, both main and side activities. and on top of that you will have activities provided by your fixer to pull off a job for money, and various other activities like racing, etc. But besides that, I'm sure there will be something else that we can generate money from. I will of course have a more detailed look once the game is out. And that's kinda the way. So the world still goes on, but the level of crime and illegal way of getting money became normal. Because the world is destroyed, there is no black and white, you do everything you have to survive, and of course, legal money on the street doesn't pay well, so people choose the other side. I mean, there are those who just attack and steal, since there are so many homeless in the streets. They don't really do anything, I mean they cannot, no one will give them a chance, so they don't even work for money, just food to survive. So hopefully this video showed you how the economy works in this universe. I will expand further onto this once the game is out, obviously. I mean, tell me down below what else do you want me to talk about. The lore is vast, so I have a bunch of things to talk about. Again, thank you for watching, please subscribe today for more Cyberpunk videos and click that like button because it does help with the algorithm. Join us in our growing community at Twitter and Discord, and I do have a Patreon page. If you were looking for an extra way to support the channel, you can do it through there, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.